What's happening, people? Dan Lawless here, West Ham Fan TV. After Liverpool 2, West Ham 1, I'm just in a cab on the way to Romford trying to get a little bit of night out time before the lockdown comes in. So that's why we're doing it the way we are. But I'm here with good mate Marshy after that result, mate. Mixed emotions for me. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, I think so, mate, to be honest. I think, like I said to you before, Dan, I think when the fixtures were originally announced, you know what I mean? I think we all thought, that we wrote us off for the first 7 or 8 games before, potentially our season started, the Fulham, Sheffield United games. But so taking the points that we did in that succession, and obviously them teams that we were playing that were obviously playing at the height of their game as well, we can't have too many complaints. I think on the night tonight, obviously home with the champions, European champions as well. We've had to go about it and set up in a way that would sort of help our cause and obviously try and stop the rot with them, and we've run them that close, haven't we? So
yeah, I think like performance-wise, look, I can't fault the boys, like you said, mate. To go to Anfield and look, they haven't lost there in so long. They're so strong at home, and to really give it to them and look, I think we've given a good account of ourselves and look. Fornals, I think, was excellent, and his goal, I thought he took that really well, bottom corner.
Yeah, I've seen, I've been reading obviously a lot of the stuff after the game, and I think about people saying, like maybe bring Ben Rama in and then dropping Fornals because Bowen's obviously been a revelation as well. I think he's gone under the radar, Bowen, a bit. I don't think, like I made clear on my account that I don't think we realise just how much work he does, and I think he's clearly one of the more physically fitter players, that we've got, So at the end of the day, we need to obviously work our team around.
And him and Bowen and Fornals, I'm just getting out of the cab. Bowen and Fornals, I think, have formed a really good relationship. You see a lot of good link-up play between the two of them, and like you said, it's so you can't drop Fornals. You just can't.
Yeah. I'm sort of like obviously. Listen, he took his goal well, and then he could have squared to Bowen, couldn't he, in the second half? But that you learn by them, not mistakes as such, but you learn by them aspects. You sort of run it back, and then you sort of have a bit more maybe observation, a bit more awareness as to what's around you. And then we could have had another goal. But I didn't listen. We've run the champions of England that close that we maybe deserve something out of the game. And for me, like I say, I think I'm feeling more fortunate at the moment. I think it's a good time to be supporting us. We've been through the mill a lot with previous managers, and obviously now we've actually found a way of playing. We've found a way of setting up, tactically, and obviously trying to suit and match the opponents that we're playing at the time, which largely has kept this formation going. And I actually think it brings out the better in players that have been scapegoats, like the Cresswells. All right, Fredericks hasn't been around. He got that injury, and obviously, we've got the new fella there, Kufel, that has not been too bad at all. But I think maybe overall, I think we could have been better. I think we, Liverpool were there for the taking. We've probably created better chances in the second half and not taken them. I think Haller's maybe questionable. I questioned him at half time. I said that I don't think he does enough, although he's a totally different player to Antonio, who we missed massively, by the way. He gives us that extra dimension and sort of other opportunities. I think he works a lot harder than Haller, but if that's a performance to go by for Haller, then maybe I can't see him in for Fulham. But then again, he may start with him and then sort of look to change it like the way that he did tonight. So that'll be interesting to see. But I think we need to, like I say, Dan, take the positives out of this game, and obviously, maybe take a look back at games previously that we've had and where we picked up points that we may not necessarily have done before, So, listen, just keep the faith, really.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, there are a lot of positives. No, I haven't. A big negative for me, though, that penalty decision. To me, I don't think that's a thing. I think that is soft. I think he's dived. To me, absolutely not a penalty. And they haven't even scrutinised it enough. I think in that instance, we've been done by it.
I think I do tend to agree. I mean, I've watched it back a few times, and you sort of like 1 minute you can see a bit of contact, next minute you can't. And at the end of the day, Liverpool, and it's a big club mentality, it's a big six mentality. If they get a little knock, he's going to go down, and that's what happens. And the decisions generally go with the big clubs. Then again, obviously the goal that they scored when obviously they went through Ogbonna and fouled Fabianski as well. We got a bit of rub of the green there, didn't we? We got a positive outlook on that, But yeah, no, I think that the penalty probably was a bit harsh, but then again, you've probably seen them given as opposed to not. And at the end of the day, what was interesting for me was I think that the reaction of Masuaku. He seemed to get in possession of the ball when after Salah had dived down, And he kept looking back as if to say, well, are you going to stop the game? Because I know it's a penalty, but do you know it's a penalty? And it was one of them ones. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, contact, to me, just because it's contact doesn't make it a penalty, because you look at that anywhere else. Of course, he has made contact, but it's not enough contact to impede him or to make him go down. And he's obviously looked for that, because as soon as he feels that little bit of contact, little brush with his leg, he puts his arm out, leans into Masuaku, and then goes down.
Yeah, and that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah, if he would have gone to the monitor and still given it, it's just the fact that they didn't scrutinise it enough for me, and it's poor. And I honestly think we deserve to get something out of the game on the balance of things. The right call was made, obviously, with their goal that was disallowed as well.
I think so. I was just about to say, I think obviously they tried to right the wrong, maybe, of obviously looking at the Salah penalty and sort of maybe in the back of the mind thinking, is it really a penalty? And then the situation where we conceded a goal. I mean, a blind man can see that's a foul. Do you know what I mean? Why they
shouldn't have even taken what? But why did he need to go to the monitor for that? When it was clear as day, but he ain't gone to the monitor for their soft, weak penalty.
And that's what I say, mate. That's the top six club mentality in this country. Unfortunately, the officials obviously will always go with the sides that are that it will benefit in the longer run, And obviously Liverpool being champions, it's going to benefit them more. But at the end of the day, I mean, I must admit I was half dreading this game as opposed to the others, obviously, that we've had previously. And we played similar and some better stuff in this game. And like you say, on the night we've been unfortunate. But listen, there's not going to be many teams go there and give the account that we did. So I think we should maybe take the positives out of it. Look after the good performances. I mean, Ogbonna was good again. Do you know what though, Dan, as well? I think it's refreshing to see the fact that the solidarity there, I think, especially at the back, we've always struggled defensively and teams have been able to nitpick us through. I mean, like the Tottenham first half, 3-0 down in quick succession. We've had to work that one out. But I think we're clearly learning, like, as the weeks and the games go by, because we're rectifying the wrongs, and whereas beforehand, maybe under a Pellegrini or previously to that, we wouldn't have done that. So, and that's probably a bit in fairness to Moyes,
Mate, So the big thing for me is, look, and this as well, over the years, our biggest problem has been consistency, is getting consistent performances game to game to game. And we've seen it so many times. This is the first time in a long time. Look, 5 games in a row from Arsenal, consistently good performances every single game. Yeah. And that is a huge positive going forward, because that has been my big gripe.
I think that's largely down to the way that we were set up for one. And I think it's apart from Mickey, which is massively unfortunate because we were half not wanting it to happen, but then in the back of your mind, you knew that he was due maybe a hamstring injury or a calf and pulling up. And unfortunately now he is. But I think a lot of that is down to the fact that we've found tactically the formation that we maybe are stronger at, and players that are learning. Players that are learning their roles as well. It's take the positives out of it and let's crack on to the Fulham game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is key for me, the Fulham game, because, as we've seen it so many times, we turn up to some of the big games. We've seen us go to the likes of Fulham's and just not turn up. And that, I think, if we go over there and just get beaten by Fulham, I think it undoes everything that we've done here. It is so crucial to go to Fulham and perform.
I think, do you know what? And as the seasons have gone by, Dan, we've always been one to perform against the bigger clubs, and then we've always more struggled against the bottom. And literally, Fulham couldn't be any closer to the bottom, could they?
This will tell us how far we've come.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive stepping stone. I think the Fulham game is arguably, I think, and Scott Parker, he's an ex-West Ham. He knows what we're all about. He's going to want to sort of stop the rut, if you like. I know we've lost tonight. But previous to that, we've been playing very good football, and teams won't match the performances that we've given in them games, because that's all part of this league, and the way that you set up and your confidence within your team. But like you say, all of that picking and all of that good work and determination and grit, and everyone's commitment, knowing their individual jobs and their jobs as a unit, will be completely undone if we don't get a result. So arguably, I think Fulham is the biggest game of our season. Now we've got the bulk of the bigger sides out of the way. Until a later time in the season, we can now hopefully pick up some points, obviously against the likes of Fulham and Sheffield as well. That they're struggling more, so I think they're getting found out a bit more. So listen, it'll be interesting to see. But let's kick on to that one and hopefully get a result and kick back on again and gain that confidence. I don't think we'll be knocked too much from tonight. I really don't. I think we'll train hard, and I think we'll prepare in the right way for Fulham, and I think that's what we need to do. So and Moyes seems to have got us playing. So at the minute, and there's a talk of extension of the contract. So maybe worse things have happened at West Ham. For me, I just think it's a refreshing time. We've played some good stuff, and I'm looking forward to. Listen, like I said in the tweets, roll on Fulham, mate. Really.
Yeah, do you know, I fully agree with you, mate. Players should hold their heads, have their heads held. All right, mate, calm down. Sorry about that, mate, the noise. But no, the players should totally come out of this with their heads held high. But yeah, so let's see about Fulham, mate. Hopefully, I'll be talking to you, and we'll come out of it with and be smiling and get the points that we deserve. So, cheers, Moisey. And
listen, don't go too mad out there, and I'll catch you soon.
Cheers, mate. Listen, got to make the most of it.
Exactly. You do that, mate. Exactly. Listen, keep safe, and I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, mate.
Nice one, Marshy.